you should be able to hear me. Alrighty. Yeah. All right then. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Okay. Yeah, we should be live. I've just had some technical issues. That's why the stream started a little bit late. Hopefully, all of those can be resolved. And we don't get any more lag. That's the thing I've been trying to fix really. But yeah, I've tried literally every single solution under the sun. Not everything has worked as expected. So we'll see how it goes. But currently, yeah, still under investigation, as the FIA would describe. So yeah. Anyway, let's continue on with the stream. We're 25 minutes away from the race start, and we'll have a look at the driver's standing, shall we? So we have got Oscar Piastri, 309 points to his name. Lando Norris with 275. He's got a lot of ground to make up, really, after that DNF in Zandvoort. Yeah, he's got, what's that, 34 points to close up now to his teammate. So quite a lot of work to do. Can it be done? Yes. Will he need some luck on his side? Probably also yes. Can't guarantee that it's going to be absolutely perfect there for Oscar Piastri, but Piastri's form has been really good, and for Norris to close that gap up without any DNFs, assuming the McLarens do finish 1-2, Norris would have to finish ahead of Piastri for the next 5 races in a row in a 1-2 finish for the McLarens, and I can see Norris winning 1 or maybe 2 races, but winning 5 races in a row, seems highly unlikely to me, but, what do I really know? So we'll just wait and see, really. We'll see how Lando Norris reacts from that, because he knows that he's under pressure. Yeah, he knows that he hasn't got much margin of error now. Right till the end of the season, every single race, every single practice, every single quali has to be absolutely perfect from him. Otherwise, the championship will just slip out of his hands, and there'll be nothing that he can do. So yeah, we'll see how it goes for Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. Max Verstappen, 205 points. He's most certainly out of the fight for the championship. George Russell, 184 points. He's actually not that far behind from Max, and we could actually see him leapfrog him if he gets a couple of races going in his favour in a row, but we'll see. Both drivers are tied on the number of podiums, but Max Verstappen does have one more win. Okay, yeah, good morning, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, from wherever you are around the world. It seems to be the lag issues have fixed themselves, but I really don't want to speak too soon, because, yeah, we've still got about an hour and a half of this stream left to go. What are my predictions for qualifying? Oh, I don't really know, actually. It's a bit of a tough one to predict what I think is going to happen. We'll continue on with the constructors, and then I'll get into what my predictions are a little bit later on. So looking at the constructors here, you can see McLaren way up in the lead. It doesn't really matter for them. Ferrari still second place in the constructors, even though they've had, well, terrible luck. Yeah, getting 2 DNFs is pretty bad. Obviously, some of it was luck, some of it wasn't. But regardless, not ideal for the Ferrari team. Still in second place, though. They're only 12 points ahead of Mercedes, which is a very small margin to have. So hopefully, at this Grand Prix here in Monza, Ferrari can do well. Charles Leclerc was looking pretty racy in FP2. In FP1, of course, it was a 1-2 finish for the Ferrari duo, which was very, very nice. Yeah, so it's a little bit up in the air what will happen to Ferrari. Hamilton, of course, with a 5-place grid penalty as well, so we'll see how he fares against the rest of the pack. With that penalty, will he be able to make his way through the field? And looking further down, the battle for 5th position, which I've been talking about for quite a while now, but Williams, Aston Martin, Racing Bulls and Sauber all involved, and yeah, Sauber's form has sort of dropped off. Aston Martin was good in high downforce circuits. Monza is the exact opposite. Williams is looking really good in this low downforce circuit. So maybe Williams will score a bunch of points, extend their lead up in 5th position to sort of safeguard them till the end of the season. And of course, they'll have Baku in 2 weekends' time as well, which will be another race that Williams should do well at, so that should help them out. And then, of course, we'll go to Singapore, where then we'll have Aston Martin be really good in the high downforce conditions, and maybe Racing Bulls as well. So it's still very much up in the air who finishes in fifth position. It'll be interesting to see. It is a significant chunk of prize money extra that you get from finishing in fifth position, probably on the order of 10 to 20 million euros. If you jump from eighth position all the way up to fifth, you're probably getting 20 million euros extra in prize money. So it's very, very worthwhile to actually go for, to go for it, really. All right. So let's get rid of that, and yeah. So we are 21 minutes away from the start of FP3. At the end of FP2, we did have Kimi Antonelli crash. He did that last year in Monza, in fact, as well. 2024 in Free Practice 1. He was given his first Free Practice 1 session ever in Formula 1, and Toto Wolff sent him out on a set of soft tyres, and he went to start a quick lap and immediately bottled it at Parabolica and crashed the car with a 52G impact, really big for that rookie driver at the time. But 52Gs is big for anyone at any point in time. But yeah, Antonelli really, I'm sure his neck would have been a little bit sore after that one, but managed to get away just okay. And this time he didn't crash at Parabolica, he crashed on the exit of Lesmo 2. There you can see his little icon is paused on the edge of the screen. Okay, I have a feeling Hulk will have a good race. Maybe he will. The Saubers haven't been too slow, actually, and looking through the speed traps as well, Saubers have been managing to sort of arrange a toe through certain parts of the circuit, which will help them out. That's another thing here. I'm going to be talking about the toe a lot. Normally, it's track evolution that I'm talking about or something, but the toe at Monza is huge, and the amount of lap time that you can gain for free is ridiculous. So yeah, we saw Stroll and Alonso giving each other a toe as sort of practice during FP1, and we'll see if if they execute that sort of strategy in the race as well, in the qualifying as well. Okay, there's talk for V8s in 29/30. It was scheduled after Monza, but it'll now happen after Baku. Interesting. Well, it'll be good to have the V8s back. They are really good engines, of course. So yeah, we shall see. Okay. What else have we got going on here then? We've got 9,000 people tuning into live. Oh, not 9,000, 900 people tuning into live stream. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Really do appreciate all of the support, and thanks for sticking with the channel through all of the Wi-Fi issues that we were having yesterday. For 20 minutes or half an hour before the live stream started, I was looking and the issues were still there. They were still present. And then as soon as the live stream started, all of the issues disappeared. So I'm very, very #grateful for my internet. And I'm still literally here with my fingers crossed, hoping that the internet doesn't cut out any further. Okay, did Williams have any upgrades? No, Williams didn't have any upgrades. No team really had any sort of major upgrades. A lot of teams had Monza-specific stuff, like a Monza-specific rear wing, Monza-specific front wing, maybe cooling package as well. But no, nobody has any specific upgrades. And nobody has any general upgrades or so. Anything that you see this weekend will never be seen again, because Monza is the skinniest of the skinniest rear wings that the teams can get their hands on and still pass the FIA tests. Okay, do you know if Ferrari were running a low fuel or high engine setup in FP1? Well, I can't tell you for certain, but it looked quite like that. They just wanted to give the Tifosi something to cheer for. It happens quite often. Sometimes drivers, when they're at their home race, their team will send them out on a slightly higher engine mode, slightly lower fuel, just so their fans have something to cheer about. And, it's quite nice just to be at top of the times at your home Grand Prix. So yeah, the Ferrari pace is not as quick as the McLarens. The McLarens were sort of sandbagging. Maybe the Ferraris were just at a normal sort of pace, and the McLarens were the team that were just driving slowly. So it looked like Ferrari were really quick. But it was some sort of combination of that, because the McLarens do have the upper hand. However, it's not by that big of a margin. At other circuits, it was pretty huge, the margin between the McLarens and the other teams. This weekend round, it's pretty tight between the McLarens, the Red Bulls, the Ferraris, and the Williams for quali pace. So within 3 or 4 tenths at max, whereas we had, yeah, like seven tenths, 8 tenths at all of the other circuits. Must be the internet, yeah. 5 second penalty to the Wi-Fi router for last stream. All right, yeah. Well, let me update the light counter as well. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. Where is the light counter? Here we go. Thanks everyone for hitting the like button. We're up to what's that? 181 likes, and everyone for subscribing as well. Yeah, the subscribers also have been updated. Everything's just been a little bit delayed because I've been too busy trying to fix this internet. All right, volume is normal. All right, yeah, sounds it's all right then. Yeah, sounds good. Okay. Could you explain the colours on the map? Well, the colours are really just sort of just the three different sectors on the circuit. So, if the yellow flags weren't there, it'd be a little bit more clear. But sector 1 is just all of this red. Sector 2 is all of this blue bit, and sector 3 is all of this yellow bit. It gets a little bit confusing because there were yellow flags deployed over these parts of the circuit because of gravel, I think, at the end of the session. So the marshals were going out into the circuit just to clear up the gravel, and that's why the yellow flags were there. But yeah, not an issue. As we get into FP3, the track map will reset itself and we'll be good to go. Did I miss anything? Not much. No, you did not miss much. Okay. So, here we go then. We will have Ferrari fans have still got something to hope for. You know, they're still, I think, up there, potentially up on the podium. If things go their favour, they could get a race win, but their race pace, at least yesterday, was 0.3 of a second slower compared to the McLaren. So over the course of a full race distance, they're going to be around 15-20 seconds back from the McLaren team. However, of course, Ferrari will make some setup changes overnight to hopefully help that race pace issue. But of course, McLaren will also be doing the same thing. They'll be looking to get faster than all the other teams. So maybe that pace will stay around about the same. Maybe it'll be a little bit worse. Maybe a little bit better. Who knows? Mm, yeah, we have got 15 minutes now till we get underway. What else have we got to talk about? In fact, I shall take you through an onboard lap of the circuit. Oh, it looks like we are getting the FP3 data coming through. Yes, we are. Okay, fantastic. The FP3 data is coming through in just a matter of a couple of seconds now, folks. Do you think Lando will be able to come back from the championship? Well, I think he will, but I don't know how close he'll be able to get. Like, he will reduce the gap, I think. I think the gap at some point is going to dip down below 34 points. Piastri isn't going to run away with this right till the end of the season, but I don't think that gap is going to get smaller than 5 points, if I'm being totally honest. Unless Piastri gets a DNF, which is, very much anything can happen. So Piastri could definitely get a DNF, but currently, I don't really know, and no one really knows. The McLaren failure was a little bit of a surprise because I would have suspected it would have been a Mercedes power unit issue, which it has been sort of prevalent. We've seen quite a few issues in the Mercedes power unit itself this season, but no, it was actually a mistake in the chassis for the McLaren. It was the failure was in the chassis rather than in the power unit itself. So yeah, bit strange for that one, but I guess we'll see what happens. Of course, McLaren will have figured out what was the problem, and they will have taken avoiding action both on Piastri's car and on Lando Norris's car, and they'll be looking to, well, hope that doesn't happen again, essentially. Okay. Will SRF show this live in Switzerland? No, it will be Service TV this weekend in Austria. Service TV will show all the practice sessions and the quali and the race. SRF will only show the qualifying and the race. So yeah, it's Service TV for the practice sessions, and then if you want to watch via SRF, then it's that for the qualifying of the race. Okay. F1 Gamer, what is your take on Gasly's extended Alpine contract? Also, Danny's Rick coming back as an ambassador. Well, I think for Gasly, it's a good thing to have a bit more stability in the sport going through till 2028. The question is, how competitive is that Alpine team going to be? Because Gasly is no real slouch. You know, his 2021 season was incredible. He was in that AlphaTauri, but consistently up in the top 6, top 7 every single time. And yeah, he is a really quick driver, you know, similar to I would say similar in terms of pace to, say, Alex Albon, and maybe even Carlos Sainz on a good day. So, yeah, I think Gasly deserves a little bit of a faster car, at least an opportunity to shine in a faster car, and then we'll see, you know, if he's made up for it. So, yeah, I don't think the Alpine's going to be there, though. The problem that they sort of have is that they don't have any customer teams, and they just don't have the same amount of manpower that Mercedes, that Ferrari, that Red Bull have. So, yeah, they're going to need a lot of things to go their way for the championship for them to be competitive. So I don't really know. Gasly maybe would be suited somewhere else, but all of the other slots are also full. So I don't really. It's a good thing that he's still staying in the sport, though. That's for certain. Daniel Ricciardo, on the other hand, he has become a brand ambassador for, I think, Ford in Formula One or Ford Motorsport or something along those lines. I mean, it's good to see. I think Daniel Ricciardo just went a little bit off the grid after his last race in Singapore last year, and yeah, good to see him sort of back in the world of Formula One and motorsport. But yeah, I'd much prefer him if he was on the track racing, sending dive bombs left, right, and centre. But there's no spots, unfortunately, for him on the Formula One grid. All right. Will Ferrari ask Hamilton to give Charles a tow? Because anyway, he had a grid penalty. Oh, that's an interesting one, actually. Maybe he will. Maybe Ferrari will. I mean, it sort of depends, really. I think, though, in Q3, the way that it would work is that Hamilton may still get a tow for his first run, but everyone knows the final run of Q3 is when it matters, and I think on that run, Hamilton won't be given a tow, and Leclerc will get the tow on the other hand. Because sometimes the drivers will try and get a tow off other teams, sometimes the teams will say, no, we're not going to mess around with this sort of stuff, and we're just going to get a tow from our own drivers. So that might happen. We might see Hamilton give Leclerc a tow on the final run of Q3 because he's not going to be making it onto pole position, and Charles Leclerc still has a shot. But yeah, good question, actually. Thanks for that. Adrian Parker, thanks for giving us all of the free practice and quality race streams. I'm in Japan and relying on commentary. Well, thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks for hitting the like button. Thanks for subscribing. We've hit 192.5k. So let me just pop that subscriber target up. I think the subscriber target for today was 194k. So we shall see if we hit that. Of course, we'll have free practice 3, and then we'll also have qualifying as well. Also, I'll take you through an onboard lap of the circuit while we are waiting. So here we go. Where is the onboard lap? Where is the onboard lap? The onboard lap isn't rendering for me. Give me just a second here, folks. We'll get the onboard lap rendering in a moment. All right, there we go. So yeah, you make your way through towards Parabolica here, and you've got track limits monitoring here on the left-hand side. You don't want to exceed, you don't want more than half your car over track limits. The FIA will give you a penalty, but of course it does gain you a lot of speed down the straight, so the drivers have to make a bit of a balancing act and a choice on what to do as they come out of Parabolica. Going down the start-finish straight, though, it's pretty much, it's nice and straight, isn't it? You just got to avoid the bumps on the circuit, pick the line with the least bumps so you can drive nice and quickly, and then through in towards turn number 1 and 2. Early rotation, do some short shifting as well. Maybe not, actually in qualifying as well, you could probably do a little bit of short shifting, and the reason for doing that short shifting is you will reduce wheel spin firstly, and you will also prevent your tires from overheating, which means once you go into the second chicane and then once you go into the final sector, you will still have a little bit of margin on your tires to push. Whereas if you are just pushing a little bit too hard on at the start of the lap, at the end of the lap, your tyres will overheat. Into Lesmo 2, want to avoid the grass, of course, on the right-hand side. Over the curbs you go to gain as much lap time as you can. And then in towards Lesmo number 1, downshift, probably into 5th. I took that in 6th gear, but ideally it should have been 5th gear. And then you continue on through Lesmo 2. And yeah, just on towards Ascari now. So on towards Ascari, you brake only for the first left-hander, then you're flat for the second and the third left-hander. A little tiny lift if you are, having the rear end snap out ever so slightly. But if you don't have the rear end snap out, it feels planted fully flat through Ascari, and then into Parabolica, same thing, early onto the power, and carry as much speed as you possibly can onto the start-finish straight. Okay, and that is a lap of Monza, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, we're 5 minutes away from the start of FP3. We'll have all the drivers making their way out onto the circuit. We'll have the qualifying sims towards the end. We'll have the long runs towards the start. The teams will have made some setup changes overnight, so the drivers will go out, evaluate whether those setup changes are in the right direction or the wrong direction, and then, of course, make some changes to that. Okay, F1 Gamer, do you use a steering wheel? Indeed I do, indeed I do. So yeah, I have a Thrustmaster TXM steering wheel. It's quite old actually, but it does the job, so why not? No idea why they gave FP1 to Dunn instead of Oscar. The rule is for the FIA. The FIA says that for at least 6 weekends of the season, you have to give a rookie an opportunity to drive in free practice 1. So that's why the McLaren have these rules. They have to give them Alex Dunn a drive, or any rookie a drive in FP1. So I think the last time out it was Austria, and Alex Dunn took Lando Norris's seat. Now this time in Monza, they swapped the drivers around, and instead of Lando Norris giving up his seat, it is Oscar Piastri who gives up his seat for Alexander Dunn. And yeah, that was the reasoning really. Yeah. F1 Gamer, how are you? Ready to cast? Indeed I am. Indeed I am. I'm looking forward to the stream, actually. We are 4 minutes away from the start of Free Practice 3, and doing pretty well, actually. Doing pretty well. Hello, Drop Dead Hero. Nice to see that you are back, buddy. Yeah, I'm doing all right, folks. I'm doing all right. Also, another thing, just to combat the lag, what I've done is I've added a little bit of a delay into the stream. So if you do send a message in chat and I don't respond immediately, that's because of the delay. So don't send the message, 3-4 times. It will just come through on my screen a little bit later, and then you'll be able to hear my response. So, yeah, don't. For any of you folks that are wondering why I'm responding to all the chat messages just a little bit late, that is the reason why. Is it illegal to tow a teammate? No, it's totally fine. I mean, we've seen it happen with Red Bull. I'm sure for a fact if Tsunoda makes it through into Q3, he will definitely be giving a tow to Max Verstappen, because that's just the way Red Bull operates. They will always give a tow to their number 1 driver, and they always have a very clear number 1 and number 2. So if Tsunoda makes it in, you can bet on the final run in Q3, Tsunoda's going to go out first, Verstappen's going to go out later, and they're going to line up a tow for the 2 drivers. All right. 10-second penalty for the Wi-Fi router. Yeah, 10-second penalty indeed. It's not been doing great, really. Not been doing great. Must be the lag. I don't know really what's been going on. They did, as I said, they did say they were doing maintenance work 2 days ago, and yesterday as well. So they were doing maintenance work on the Wi-Fi stuff, or the broadband stuff, 2 days ago and yesterday, which probably caused issues yesterday, but they shouldn't. Those issues should be fixed by today, but who knows? All right. Yeah, multi 2-1. Like no other team is going to come over the radio and say multi 2-1, making it ever so clear to one driver that they are the number 2. Like the other driver, they'll just say switch positions for the championship or for the team. You know, this is what's best for the team. Do X, Y, Z. But Red Bull is very clear cut over the radio. Like multi 2-1, switch the positions around. You're the number 2 driver. You're the number 1. Like whatever. Yeah, not too bad for a number 2 driver. That's a nice way to put it. We'll see what happens with Cadillac. You know, they've got 2 number 2 drivers themselves. Sergio Perez was number 2 to Max Verstappen. Valtteri Bottas was number 2 to Lewis Hamilton. And yeah, we'll see how they cope together. Are they going to have 2 number 2 drivers? Are they going to have 2 number 1 drivers? But what I think is really going to happen in Cadillac is that the 2 drivers are just going to work together to develop the car, make the car quicker and quicker, so then they don't have to worry too much, because they won't be fighting for podiums and race wins right from the get-go. And yes, and you only really care about a number 1 or a number 2 driver if you are fighting for podiums or race wins and stuff like that. What is the difference between how long till quali? It's, as you can see there, it's just above the parabolica corner. It says qualifying starts in 3 hours and 30 minutes. Yeah. Alright then, so we are getting underway very, very soon here, ladies and gentlemen. 30 seconds remain on the clock, and then we'll get a green light at the end of the pit lane. The drivers will be making their way out onto the circuit. The wind today is very, very minor wind, blowing 5 kilometers per hour from the northwesterly direction. So the start-finish straight is lined up with north, so northwesterly direction. That means it's blowing from this direction across the straight. So a little bit of a headwind as the drivers come across, start turning across the main straight, and a little bit of a tailwind as the back straight. But it should balance out really, because you've got equivalent sort of lengths, equivalent sort of straights either way. All right. There we go then, green light at the end of the pit lane, and we have got the timer on the bottom left just ticking down now. No drivers make their way out onto the circuit, surprisingly, immediately. A lot of them just sat on the inside, just waiting for... Yeah, a lot of them just sat on the inside, really. Sat in the pits, not yet going out onto the circuit. Let me get rid of this countdown timer, and yeah, we'll have the drivers coming out onto the track very, very soon. Alright, yeah, there we go, actually. Nico Hülkenberg, first driver out on track on a set of medium tyres. Very, very nice. Oh, why have they told Nico Hülkenberg, and a reminder, no brakes? It's a little strange. I don't know why they've told Nico Hülkenberg to use no brakes. Maybe that's a mistake over the transcription, but a little bit odd. This is FP3, not FP2. Yeah, this is FP3. As it says on the screen now, and the stream title is also FP3. Anyway, they told Nico Hülkenberg to change engine modes, and he's just going around doing an install lap by the looks of it. Very, very nice. Alrighty then, yeah, no one else seemingly coming out on track. Bortoletto also sat in the pit lane. But yeah, this is typically what we see here in Monza. Oh, it looks like they've just told Fernando Alonso simultaneous release. Lance, go ahead. So Lance and Alonso both go out onto the circuit at the start. It looks like they'll be scrubbing their tyres. Aston Martin typically do that. They'll come out probably on a set of either mediums or hards, and they'll do one lap on them and then come back into the pits. Yeah, just don't break. Exactly, yeah. A little bit odd, isn't it? But we shall see how it goes. All right, what are your predictions of quali? Oh, okay. I think Ferrari on the front row, thanks to someone giving Charles Leclerc an absolutely monstrous tow, or Lewis Hamilton a monstrous tow. One of the 2 drivers, but I think Charles Leclerc's a little bit more lightly around here in Monza. And my other prediction is that we are going to have at least 1 red flag. I think we're going to have 1 red flag at least. Yeah. folks, if you are experiencing them as yesterday, if you rewind 10 seconds or so, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, the lag will disappear. It depends. Some of the YouTube servers are having some issues around the world, and also my internet is being a little bit dodgy, so I do apologize, but if you do rewind 10 or so seconds, the lag does disappear. Alright, yeah, we shall continue on. Also makes his way out into the circuit, and yeah, Alonso and Stroll, they're out on hard tyres, just doing one lap on these hard tyres to scrub them, and then they make their way back into the pits. Alrighty then, yeah, Stroll just driving around, really, everyone just sort of going at a bit of a snail's pace, nobody is pushing all that hard, and into the pits they go. Yeah, I think, for Stroll. 10-second delay will work. Yeah, okay, sounds good then. Yeah, 10-second penalty for the Wi-Fi router. 10-second penalty for everyone just watching the stream. If you are getting any lag, just rewind 10 seconds and everything should be a-okay. Alrighty then. Yeah, Fernando Alonso into the pit lane, and as expected, really. Isaac Hadjar, is he going to continue on, or is he also going to dive into the pits? Let's wait and see. Hadjar into pits. Oh, Stroll's actually continuing on, actually. Oh no, Stroll's just come out of the pit lane immediately. He's come out now on a set of medium tyres. So we'll see what he can do on those mediums, and if that helps him out. Alright, yeah. So Stroll and Alonso continue on. They're going to scrub now a set of medium tyres as they make their way back, as they do another lap around the circuit. Pretty boring start, I'd say, to the start of FP3. But the other thing is that the track temperature is up at 40 degrees, so it's quite toasty here in Monza. It'll probably drop a little bit later on as we head towards qualifying, but it is been, yeah, a little bit up in the air as of the past couple of, yeah, well, not a little bit up in the air. The temperatures have been a little bit high in the past couple in Monza. So the soft tyres probably going to start overheating a little bit, so we'll wait and see how that goes. Did Hamilton get a 5-place grid penalty? Indeed he did. So a 5-place grid penalty there for Lewis Hamilton, because he sped under double yellow flags in the Zandvoort Grand Prix. Okay, yeah. Time to watch Stroll cook. Well, yeah, they're just actually driving on really slowly. I think Aston Martin know that to scrub the tyres, they want to do it as slowly as they possibly can. I mean, look at that. The first sector time, they took a full minute in the first sector. They took 40 seconds in the second sector. And then, yeah, it looks like they're taking another 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 50 seconds in the third sector. Alrighty. Yeah, Stroll into the pits. Gasly and Colapinto out onto the circuit. We'll see what they can do. But it's alright so far. Okay. Yeah, Gasly and Colapinto, looks like they're going to be doing some flying laps here. We can see through the speed traps, 336 kilometers per hour for Pierre Gasly, so nice and quick there. Colapinto slightly in his toe, goes 338, but the Alpines are down on horsepower, as I mentioned in the earlier, streams. But yeah, Alpine are around 10 or 15 horsepower down compared to Mercedes, Ferrari, and Honda, which is a bit of an issue because, while we're here at the Temple of Speed, where top speed is king and horsepower is also king. So, yeah, Gasly and Colapinto are going to be struggling this weekend, but there's not really much that they can do. Do you think Colapinto would get points? Yeah, I mean, I hope that he can get points, but I don't really know which Grand Prix can do it, because Alpine just isn't that quick. Maybe in Singapore they'll have a chance at the high downforce tracks, but it's really up in the air. Okay. Yeah, Sonoda's out on the circuit now. He also goes 338 kilometers per hour, but he does that without a tow. So it looks like Sonoda's either running a little bit more engine mode, or he is just a little bit quicker down the straights compared to the Alpines, which is not really a surprise. Regardless, Colapinto and Gasly come across the line, a 123.9 for Gasly, a 122.7 for Colapinto. Colapinto goes 1.2 seconds faster. And here now comes Yuki Tsunoda's purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2, and purple in Sector 3. Yuki Tsunoda is up in first position, and he is 8/10 clear of the competition. Fantastic. Fantastic job there from Tsunoda. On a set of hard tyres as well. Yeah, 10 minutes we've had 10 minutes of the session so far, and we've still got 50 minutes left on the clock. Only 3 drivers have completed a flying lap, and only 7 drivers have actually made their way out onto the circuit. Antonelli will have some more work to do as well. He had his running cut short in FP2 after he got beached in the gravel, so once that issue gets resolved, hopefully he will be able to compete a little bit better with everyone else, and yeah, we shall see how it goes. Alright, so why are they all in the pits? Because there isn't that much benefit to them going out right now on the circuit, because here in Monza, all of the teams are running minimum downforce levels, and because the downforce levels are all on the minimum, there isn't that much tweaking that they can do with the setup. They can change suspension settings and stuff like that, but that's also relatively fixed compared to the because of the curbs and stuff. Like, you have to have a certain amount of stiffness or softness to go over the curbs and over the bumps and stuff like that. So the teams don't have that many setup changes to make, and that's why they haven't come out right at the start of the session. They're waiting for the track to be cleared up as well. The track a little bit dirty from all of the, well, I'm guessing dust and stuff that's just flew over, that's been blown over overnight. So they're just waiting for the circuit to be cleaned up before they make their way out and start doing their long run. As you can see, Piastri, Hamilton, Leclerc, Ocon, Behrman now all making their way out onto the circuit. So it looks like they're going to be starting their long runs on a set of medium tyres for the majority of them. Sainz also makes his way out onto the circuit, which is good to see. And yeah. All right. Lewis is going to have a go. Indeed he is. And Norris makes his way out onto the circuit as well. Fantastic job there from... well, fantastic job. I'm not really sure I'm saying a fantastic job. It's just good to see him out on the circuit. So we'll see what he can do. Piastri as well is out. And so is Albon. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, we are continuing on. Folks, if you're having any sort of buffering issues, just once again, just rewind 10 or so seconds and the issues will resolve themselves. Albon's out on softs and so is Hadjar. Interesting. I don't think they're going to be quick runs, especially not at the start of FP3, because the team sort of reserved the quick runs to be done at the end of FP3. So maybe we'll see Albon and Antonelli and Hadjar do their quick runs on do their long runs on soft tires, see what they're like at the start of the race. Maybe that'll help them out. But yeah, not really sure why they're out on soft tyres, to be honest, because the quick runs are definitely going to be done at the end of the session, and yeah, a little bit odd. All right, let's see. Is there anything else that I might be able to do to combat the lag? I'll get rid of the subscribe account. Maybe that will help. I'll also pause the light counter. That might also ever so marginally help with the Wi-Fi, but I really don't know at this moment in time. of what's going on. Okay. Yeah, Tsunoda actually improves there on his second lap. Purple again in all three sectors from Yuki Tsunoda, this time again on the second run of hard tyres. But he's doing hot, cold, hot on hard tyres rather than just doing a series of long runs. He's doing a quick run and then slowing and doing a slow lap and then a quick run and then a slow lap. So interesting there from Yuki Tsunoda, and we'll see how that plays out for him. Ethernet cable. Oh, folks, I am literally directly plugged into my Wi-Fi router, so I really don't know what the issue is. Like, I was running a bunch of tests as soon as the live stream finished yesterday, and the issues weren't there. But yeah, I unfortunately don't know what's going on. Charles Leclerc is up into 5th position. Very nice job there from Leclerc. And we've got Hamilton up into 7th. Solid job from him as well. And yeah. F1 Gamer, have you even tried to turn off and on your Wi-Fi router after the second stream? Yeah, I did try that. Like, just hasn't really helped, has it? All right. 46 minutes left on the clock, and we've got a lot more drivers out on the circuit now. And as you can see, they're all doing their sort of long runs here. We'll see what what Hamilton can cook up. He's on a quick lap right now. So is Charles Leclerc, and through the first sector, the drivers split by 3 milliseconds. That is how close that they are. And oh, this is interesting here. Isaac Hadjar, on a set of soft tyres, does a 121 and is slower than Yuki Tsunoda, who is on a set of hard tyres. Wow, it's such a big difference over the course of, 1 week? Hadjar was quicker than Tsunoda by enormous margin in quali last weekend out, and now here we are in Monza. Hadjar's on the softs, Tsunoda's on the hards, but still Tsunoda's quicker. Of course, I think Tsunoda is on slightly lower fuel load, which is a very big contributing factor, but regardless, pretty good going there from Tsunoda. In fact, Hamilton and Leclerc can't beat him. Hamilton, in fact, quicker than Leclerc on this occasion by about 0.2 of a second, which is good to see there from the 7-time world champion. And we have got Behrman up into 9th position with a set of medium tyres on his car. Sainz improves up into 5th. Good job there from Carlos Sainz. And we'll see what his teammate Alex Albon can do on his flying lap now. Where is the speed trap? The speed trap is here, folks. The speed trap just where Carlos Sainz is right now. There's this little white dot indicating where the speed trap is, and right at the end of the straight. So the drivers blasting down the main straight with a slipstream and a DRS, and then they pass through the speed trap. So very useful point to have a speed trap. Okay. Yeah, we have got Pierre Gasly up into 8th position, and yeah, pretty solid there. Okie dokes. Yeah, now we've just got Russell left to come out, actually. Russell did lose power at the end of FP1, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Russell lost power at the end of FP1. But... Or maybe was that FP2? But either way, he had some gearbox issues. He was stuck in 7th gear, and he, the car, I think, just stalled out on him because he couldn't downshift from 7th gear. So then he... I think he got a new gearbox, and he's still in the pits, though, surprisingly. I'm not sure if there's some issue with this car, but we're now 20 minutes into the session. He's missed out a third of the running that possibly could have been done here in Monza, and he is still in the pits. Okay. What does a speed trap do? Speed trap is just a speed camera, essentially, except it doesn't give you a fine for going too quickly. Yeah, that's the main one, isn't it? So Yeah, it just measures your speed as you go down the straight. The quickest that we're seeing through the speed traps today is, well, Norris, in fact, going one of the slowest, 3:36 for him. Russell, of course, last because he hasn't gone out. But quickest is Yuki Tsunoda, 346 kilometers per hour through the speed traps. A must have got a toe for that one. But regardless, rapid, over 200 miles per hour, probably approaching 205, 210 maybe. So really, really quick down the start and finish straight. Hamilton, in fact, just tops him, goes 347 through the speed trap. So Hamilton definitely got a toe on that occasion. But yeah, very quick down the straights. Okay, yeah, Yuki is cooking. Indeed, Piastri was quicker than him momentarily, but Yuki is not having any of that, and goes quicker than Piastri. So Yuki is really cooking today. And now, look at this. Is Charles Leclerc going to give Hamilton a toe down towards Ascari? Here they are. No, Hamilton just overtakes Leclerc. It could have been a good opportunity, actually, for Ferrari. Just tell Leclerc to speed up, give Hamilton a toe, see how much lap time that benefits him. But it looks like Hamilton doesn't need, actually might have needed a toe there because his middle sector wasn't so great. Yellow middle sector there for Lewis Hamilton. And yeah. Alrighty. Here he comes then, out of Parabolica. What can Lewis Hamilton do? Verstappen up into first position, 4/10 quicker than Tsunoda, and Hamilton across the line, second position for him. Very, very nicely done. Hulkenberg up into sixth as well. Interesting. All right, we've got Sainz up in fifth position. Very, very good job there from Carlos Sainz. And the Williams looking good. The Red Bulls somehow have pace. I mean, the McLarens are yet to really go as quickly as they possibly can. They're on a set of hard tyres, so once they're on a set of softs, we'll really get a real look into what their pace is like. Charles Leclerc, though, he is quickest again through the first speed trap, 348 kilometers per hour, so he goes 1 kilometer per hour quicker than Lewis Hamilton through the first speed trap. And now he comes through Les Mode 2. Behrman gets out of the way on the exit. Fernando Alonso also gets out of the way. And what's Charles Leclerc's middle sector time going to be? He's got DRS down the straight towards Ascari, and he crosses the middle sector line. It is green for the middle sector for Charles Leclerc. And then now we've got him going through Ascari, does that quite nicely. And now it's just the Parabolica left, really. Take us back to 2021, yeah, it's Verstappen Hamilton 1-2. Yeah, maybe we'll have another crash like we did in 2021 Monza. Who knows? Charles Leclerc, though, comes across the line, and it is second position for Charles Leclerc. He is 14 milliseconds off Max Verstappen, but the thing is, Charles Leclerc is on a set of medium tyres, Max Verstappen is on a set of softs, so there's more pace to be extracted from the Ferrari car, and this year might just be Ferrari's year. This year might be the year. They won Monza last year, they might win it again, back to back. All right. Yeah. Apologies here, folks. The internet is seemingly getting worse as the stream goes on. So hopefully it gets slightly better later on. But yeah, if you are experiencing lag, just rewind a little bit, and it should be all good. We have got 7,000 people watching the stream, so it probably isn't that laggy. Do appreciate everyone tuning in and watching along. Alright then, we've got Gasly across the line, 12th position for him, and he's still again out on a set of hard tyres. A good mix here from soft, medium and hard tyre running. And yeah, track temperature is getting hotter and hotter, so maybe this is why we're seeing some drivers out in the soft tyres now, is because the track is going to get hotter towards the end of the session. It will cool down by the time we get to quali. So the drivers want to drive around and do their quali sims in as cool conditions as possible, because the main thing really is to get that warm-up procedure nailed. You know, if you can get the procedure of warming up your tyre, you know, come out of the pits, warm up your brakes, warm up your tyres, and you can get that perfect, then you've got a perfect foundation for a good good qualifying lap. And you want to do that when the temperature conditions are going to be as close to as possible to what it's going to be in quali. So right now in FP3 with 41 degrees track temperature, in quali we'll probably be seeing like 37, 38. So now's probably the best time to go out and do your quali sims, because you will have the most similar conditions as you will to qualifying later on in the day. Okay. Yeah, we've had all of the lap times come through. All of the drivers have set at least one lap, and Esteban Ocon is unfortunately last, 2.3 seconds off the pace. Bortoleto improves up into 8th position. Esteban Ocon also improves, only 15th position for him though, and he is now 1 second off the pace. But look at that, the gap between first and last position is 1.5 seconds. Not that big of a gap, to be honest. Not that big of a gap. Alrighty. Yeah. Right, I'm going to have a quick sip of water. I'll be back in just a second, folks. Oh, a very nice lap there from Alex Albon. 5th position for him. Solid job there. And the Williams are looking really good this weekend. The smooth operator is down in 10th, but of course his lap was set on a set of medium tyres. Albon now out on a set of softs, and he's up into 5th. Really nice job there from the Williams crew. Okay. Let's see. What else have we got going on then? Yeah, most of the drivers actually coming back in towards the pits now. They've done their first couple of runs, coming into the pits, making their final sort of setup tweaks. Oh, Hulkenberg, quickest through the speed traps on this lap, 348 kilometers per hour as he goes through there. Liam Lawson across the line. It's 9th position for Lawson. Very, very nicely done. And let's see what Nico Hulkenberg can do. You know, Bortoleto and Ocon get out the way as he heads towards turn number 11. And he has no toe on the exit of turn number 1 on the exit of Parabolic. Everyone's sort of diving into the pit lane anyway. But Hulkenberg, 3rd position. Take a bow, Nico Hulkenberg. Really good lap there from him. And it is 3rd position for the German driver. And he's on a set of medium tyres as well. This is really interesting. I mean, some teams are definitely on lower fuel than others, because yeah, this is not the most representative pace that I think we've seen all weekend long. I think by the end of Q3, once we see all of the lap times done on soft tyres and also low fuel, we'll get a little bit more of a representative look of what we're going to see in quali. But I guess we shall see. It's a Ferrari 2-3 though, Ferrari 2-3, so not too shabby as Hamilton comes across the line on a pretty used set of medium tyres as well. Verstappen on the previous lap, 354 kilometers per hour. Oh my goodness me, that toe was absolutely perfect. He must have been like, what, he's like 4, 5, 6 kilometers per hour quicker than second position through the speed trap, so very, very nice job there from Max Verstappen and Red Bull for lining up that toe properly. But yeah, Max Verstappen goes purple, goes quicker than Leclerc and Hamilton, and that is, well, solely down to the fact that he got this enormous, enormous toe down the start-finish straight. F1 Gamer Y/how did Hamilton get a penalty? He got a penalty because he was speeding under yellow flag conditions in the Zandvoort Grand Prix, and obviously they didn't penalise him during the Zandvoort Grand Prix, so they've given him a grid penalty for this weekend. All right. Yeah. F1 Gamer, don't listen to the lag whisperers. It's literally just the driver dots, sectors, mini sectors in your commentary is all fine and dandy. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with YouTube, so hopefully things don't get too much worse. But I'll try my best. I shall try my best. Thing is, it's definitely not laggy on my screen. So the way that it works is it gets transmitted to YouTube, and then the lag is being caused by the way it's getting transmitted to YouTube, and it's getting transmitted via my Wi-Fi, which is not coping so well this weekend for whatever reason. All right. 30 minutes left on the clock, though, folks. 30 minutes remain, and I'll just read out the standings for anyone listening to this like a radio broadcast. So we've got Verstappen up in first position, Charles Leclerc in second, Hamilton in third, Hulkenberg in fourth, Tsunoda in fifth, Albon in sixth, Piastri in seventh, Hadjar in eighth, Ocon in ninth, Antonelli in 10th, Lawson in 11th, Bortoletto 12th, Sainz 13th, Russell 14th, Norris 15th, quite a way down actually, but he's got a lot more time to improve, and he's also he was doing those laps on hard tyres. Alonso in 16th, Stroll in 17th, Gasly in 18th, Colapinto in 19th, and we've got Behrman in 20th. Yeah. That is the way that it's going so far. Max getting close to last year's pole. Yeah, of course. I think we will be beating last year's pole time. I think that's a pretty certain fact, to be honest. So yeah, a 19.327 was last year's pole time. Max Verstappen has set a 19.688, so we're only 3/10 off, and it's the start of FP3. So most certainly by the end of Q3, we'll be beating last year's pole time. The lap record, a little bit more up in the air. I'm not sure if we will beat the lap record. All right, we've got Russell up into fourth position. Great improvement from him, and Behrman across the line into ninth. Solid job there from Behrman as well. Okay. What is this website? There isn't a website. There's this app called Multiviewer, or this application, or whatever program, but it never looks like this. What I've currently got up on my screen. This is custom made for F1 Gamer, for my stream. So yeah, this is probably the best way to watch it. Obviously, definitely not very biased whatsoever. Yeah. Okay. Alex Albon, fourth position. Oh my goodness me. The Williams, again, quicker than the Mercedes. It happened in FP1, it happened in FP2. Here we are in FP3, and it's happening again. I mean, we're still yet to see what Sainz can do on a fresh set of softs, but Albon on a very, very used set of soft tyres. That is 10-lap-old softs. So, the ideal traction phase in those soft tyres is much, much worse than the ideal traction phase in 5-lap-old soft tyres, which Russell set his lap on. So yeah, Albon is looking really good there. Really, really good. What do the blue dots on Kimi's... The blue dots, if you see blue lines here, that means the driver's just come out of the pit. So Colapinto is pit out, and then you can see these blue lines. And if anyone comes into the pits, for whatever reason, it's not working today, but it's red for some reason. Normally it's blue at the end of the pit lane, but not working today. A lot of things not going particularly correctly. Turn 4 incident between for Isaac Hadjar will be investigated after the session. Didn't escape. Oh, it doesn't matter. So, apologies there. Didn't get that much sleep last night. But no, Isaac Hadjar just didn't take the escape road at the second chicane, so it's not really that deep. He won't be getting any sort of penalty heading his way after all. Alright then, so we have got some more drivers now on some flying laps. So Tsunoda, I think, is starting a lap. Yeah. Charles Leclerc is going quite slowly, I think. Actually, yeah, he's just come out of the pit lane. So is Hamilton. But the Ferrari drivers now are still out on medium tyres, and yet to come out on a fresh set of softs. Lawson on question mark tyres. Yeah, not exactly sure what's going on there. That is definitely an FIA problem. Maybe Racing Bulls just forgot to tell the FIA what tyres they're out on, but yeah, the FIA haven't managed to figure it out, so it's currently question mark tyres for Liam Lawson. All right, folks, let me know, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Ferrari are going to be able to score a podium this weekend, or do you think they are going to be down in the dumps and getting eliminated out of Q3? Yeah, well, they're going to get eliminated out of Q2. What's going to happen with the Ferraris? Are they going to disappoint the Tifosi? Are they going to, well, have the Tifosi up on their feet cheering for them? Is Kimi Antonelli going to do well? You know, I'm sure if Ferrari doesn't get a podium, I think the Tifosi will be more than happy with Antonelli getting up on the podium. But will that happen? Will Antonelli be able to get up there? He's not been so good around Monza this weekend. Quite a few mistakes, kicking up gravel on quite a few occasions. He made a mistake last year when he tested here with the Mercedes team in FP1. He made a mistake yesterday, crashed out on, well, beached himself on the gravel at Lesmo 2. No mistakes this session so far, but yeah, also not that much pace either. Okay, yeah, 25 minutes remain on the clock, folks. So now this is really the go signal. This is the go signal for going out, set of soft tyres, and while pushing as hard as you can. Behrman is doing it on a set of medium tyres, actually. Used set of mediums for Behrman, but he's going pretty quick. I think he got a little toe off Colapinto as he started his flying lap. And here he now comes across... Oh no, Behrman actually backed out of his lap. Never mind. He was going 300 Ks through the speed trap, so definitely backed out of that one. Hamilton, purple through the first sector. Looking good there, looking good. And now he heads towards Parabolica with Antonelli ahead of him. They've just told Yuki Tsunoda over the radio that this is a push lap for Tsunoda before he comes into the pits and puts on some soft tyres. What's up with Sainz? Sainz is just on the medium tyres, whereas Albon was on the soft, so that's really just the reason why Sainz is that far down. I suspect once he comes out on a set of soft tyres, he'll be up there to compete with his teammate. Hamilton improves up into second, goes ahead of Charles Leclerc with a purple sector to his name, and yeah, good job there. Big spike in lag. Do apologise, folks. Really, really do apologise for these issues. If you can even hear me at this point, which I'm not sure you can. Actually, you can, because it's all just been transmitted. It basically, my Wi-Fi freezes for 5 seconds and then transmits 5 seconds worth of data immediately, and then freezes for 5 seconds and then transmits. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a little dodgy, but it looks like it's back now. So here we go. Yeah, 20 minutes left on the clock now, and not too many drivers out on the circuit. Sainz on a set of medium tyres. Not too bad for his first sector. We'll see what his middle sector brings. All right. Yeah, very in and out at the moment. Okay. Fair enough, fair enough. What is a red mini sector? The red mini sector is actually the data glitching out. It should be, red is normally when the drivers stop on the circuit and they've crashed out or something, but right here, all of the drivers haven't crashed out, they've just gone into the pit lane, and for whatever reason, the FIA think that they've crashed out, so a little bit dodgy from the FIA this weekend, but what can I say? Sainz improves up into 11th position on his medium tyre run there. 12 laps done on his medium tyres, and he is down into, yeah, well, he's up into 11th position, but still quite a ways back off his teammate. But he is, of course, on different tyres. F1 Gamer, who's your favourite driver? My favourite driver is most certainly Sebastian Vettel. no really doubt about that one. Yeah, yeah. Choose the previous map. This one lags. It's not the map that is causing the lagging. I will do a test, but I'll do a test in between the FP3 stream and the quali stream, and I'll test everything, every single thing that I can think of, to try and get this sorted. What setup is Hamilton on? All of the drivers, they're all on the lowest possible downforce setup. It's no one's running high downforce or anything along those lines. Everyone is running the skinniest possible rear wing that they can imagine because they want as most possible top speed here. Okay. Who is your favorite current driver? I really don't know. I mean, maybe Sonoda, maybe Alonso. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Blue flag, blue flag. Yeah, the Vettel bow down wallpaper is pretty nice. The blue flag song that he came up with in what was it, Suzuka 2015 or 2016 or something, was pretty good. A lot of his team radios are, well, just incredible, really. Also, I'd like to say big thank you to everyone that's hit the like button. It's not updating up on the screen because I'm trying to minimize every sort of thing that can minimize the lag. But we've got 900 people that have hit the like button. So big thank you, big shout out to you folks for hitting the like button. Really, really is appreciated. And yeah, be sure to subscribe as well. I didn't know how many subscribers we're on, but the target for today is 194k. We'll see if we can reach that. Okay. What happened to McLaren? McLaren are just not driving so quick because they're both out on hard tyres. As you can see, their previous laps were all done on hards, and once they come out on softs, we'll see what their pace is like. But currently, they just did their laps on hard tyres, so don't worry about it. F1 Gamer ring ding a ding ding ding. Yeah, that's a pretty nice radio, isn't it? And then what's the other one? Oh yeah, Vettel's just like, oh, I'm going home, which was pretty funny. What other radios have we had from Seb Vettel? I've got something loose in between my legs, apart from the obvious. Yeah. Actually, folks, why not? Why not? Let's drop some iconic team radios in the chat right now. While we're waiting for the drivers to come out on soft tires, I think it's prime time to drop some iconic team radios in the chat. Okay. Ferrari again out on medium tires. I don't know what they're doing, and when they're gonna come out on softs, but they've done now 14 laps each. Both Ferrari drivers on those mediums. Sainz again improves on a very old set of medium tires, also 14 laps old, but up into 9th position. Is the drink on? Must be the water. Yeah, I mean, must be the water's very recent. Have we got any old iconic chats? Oh, stop inventing. Steering wheel. Yeah, Yabba Dabba Doo. That's pretty good. From the Monza Grand Prix itself, we've had 5 seconds is a yoke, 5 seconds is a yoke, and then Karma from Fernando Alonso himself. I am stupid. I want to hear you say that's pole position. Oh, trust me, I'll say that's pole position once we get to quali. I actually quite like saying that. It's quite fun. All right. I mean, we've had some really funny Alonso radios. You know, Alonso, I think, what was it, Spa 21 or 22 was like, oh, this guy only knows how to race starting from the front or something, when he and Hamilton had a crash. Yeah. I don't care what we do, we'll still be in P1. Yeah, it was like, I don't care if, even if we put a rocket ship, we will still be P11 or something. That's what he put. Valtteri, it's James. Yeah. It's Friday then. Saturday, Sunday, what? That's a It's a pretty nice one there from Lando Norris. And in fact, here we see, folks, everyone, or pretty much everyone, has come out on a set of soft tyres. Good to see. Lando Norris is out on a set of soft tyres. So is Oscar Piastri. So I think someone in the chat was asking what's happened to... what's happened to the Ferrari? What's happened to the McLaren, sorry? Well, we'll wait and see what's happened to the McLarens, because they're looking not too shabby in the first sector. Of course, they didn't have a toe, which has not helped them out. Hülkenberg did have a toe, goes purple in the first sector. Incredible job from him. Norris in the middle sector, though, is purple, looking very racy indeed. Oscar Piastri right behind him. What is he going to do in the middle sector? Doesn't go quicker, as a tenth slower, in fact, than Lando Norris in the middle sector. And through turn number 11 they go now. And, well, through turn number 11 goes Lando Norris. What can he do? Across the line, it is first position. This is what happened to the McLarens. They're still 4 tenths ahead of Max Verstappen. Of course, there's still some more improvement to do from Max, because his previous lap was set on quite an old set of soft tyres. So once it's a fresh set, we'll see what happens. Oh, we've got 9,000 people watching the stream. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Big thank you. And, oh, Alonso up into 7th. We have got Hülkenberg up into 4th. Hadjar's purple in the first sector. Bortoletto up into 3rd. The Saubers are back, ladies and gentlemen. Where has this pace come from? I have no idea. The Ferrari-powered Sauber is in front of the Ferrari Works team. What's going on there? It's a 19.3 there from Lando Norris, who is 4 milliseconds slower than his last year's pole time. Last year, Lando Norris got pole position here in Monza. He went 4 milliseconds quicker in the 2024 McLaren. Now in the 2025 McLaren, we'll see what he does once we roll around to Q1. But currently, he's 4 milliseconds off his previous best. Hadjar is across the line, 3rd position for him. Very nice job there from Hadjar, and maybe we'll see back-to-back podiums. It'll be a bit unlikely, but Hadjar is on great form, and Liam Lawson is going to start coming under pressure really sooner rather than later, because Hadjar is performing at a very high level and sort of exceeding the limits of the car, and Liam Lawson very much firmly within the limits of the car. So yeah, Lawson's got to pick up the pace, really. Piastri is a quarter of a second off Lando Norris, so he's still got some ground to make up by the time we make it to Q1 and Q3, of course. George Russell improves up into 4th position. Nice job there from Mr. Saturday. And he's only 3 tenths off the back of Lando Norris, so the Mercedes looking pretty toasty. Okay, Max is in for fresh softs. Looks good. Yeah, Max is just into the pit lane now, so a new set of fuel and a new set of soft tyres, and we'll see what the Dutchman can do. Yeah, 14 minutes remain on the clock, folks. We've still got some more quali laps to come through. The Ferrari drivers are in the pits. They're also going to be coming out on a fresh set of softs. Alonso does his lap on a fresh set of soft tyres, 7 tenths off the pace. Sort of what you expect to see, really. Tsunoda now starts his flying lap here. In fact, let's go on board with Yuki Tsunoda as he heads down the start-finish straight in towards turn number 1. Super duper late on the brakes is Yuki Tsunoda as he makes his way through turn number 1 and 2. Smooth on the power as he makes his way out, and short shifting as well to help with the wheel spin. Through Curva Grande, goes foot flat to the floor, just hugging the inside line to minimise the distance travelled, and now towards turn number 2. The second chicane, and Tsunoda makes it through very nicely. Green in the first sector. He is about 2 tenths down, 3 tenths down on Hadjar's first sector time, but Hadjar did get a major tow, and Tsunoda did not. So not too bad from the Japanese driver. Through Les Motu he goes, and now the second DRS zone of the circuit. George Russell heading is there towards Ascari, should get out of the way in time while Tsunoda comes through. Actually, that might be a little bit problematic. Tsunoda just making his way through. Actually, you can see that over the radio. I think his engineers just apologised, saying Tsunoda's coming in 4 and 3 seconds, so maybe a little bit of a late call there for George Russell, but I think he gets out of the way just fine. Tsunoda continues on with his flying lap, and here he is now coming across the start-finish line. What is it going to be for Yuki Tsunoda? It is only 14th, because his final sector was 6 tenths off the pace because George Russell blocked him. So yeah, Russell ended up blocking Yuki Tsunoda because his engineer just with the radio early enough. You can see there, Russell, that message, Sonoda out for 4 and 3, essentially just saying that, yes, it was a little bit late of a call. Sonoda, he didn't get out of the way. And Sonoda, you can see they're complaining over the radio. I don't know, whoever that guy is, ... So Sonoda's not particularly happy, is he? Yeah. But these things happen around Monza, It's a pretty narrow circuit. Overtaking chances are pretty high, but the circuit itself is pretty narrow. And especially going through Ascari, there's only one racing line, and you have to be off it. You can't let a driver by at Ascari. You have to be either waiting before Ascari or waiting after Ascari. But Russell will not be getting a penalty for that. Nobody really gets grid penalties for blocking in practice. You will probably get a penalty if it is qualifying, though. So the engineers will have to be on the top of their game. Max Verstappen now out onto the circuit with a fresh set of soft tyres on his Red Bull. And 11 minutes left on the clock. Isaac Hadjar ever so slightly ahead of him, maybe giving him a toe, maybe not. Hadjar, in fact, no, he's starting his own flying lap. And Max Verstappen will also be starting his own flying lap. So here we go then. Hadjar and Verstappen both starting their laps. What can they do? Pretty much everyone else, though, is in the pit lane. Yeah. Here we go then. Norris makes his way out as well onto the circuit. RB21 struggles in medium speed corners. Well, luckily for him, here in Monza, the only medium speed corners we've really got are turns number 6 and 7. Parabolica's relatively high speed. Ascari's also relatively high speed. So should be a circuit where Red Bull aren't too bad at. And through the first sector, it's a 26.5 for Max Verstappen. So he is, 1/10 down on Hadjar's first sector time. And Hadjar had a pretty big toe there. So Verstappen looking good through the first sector, and now he makes his way through turns number 6 and 7. Nicely done through the Lesmos, opens that DRS flap as he heads towards Ascari, and nice and confident is Max Verstappen. His tyres probably aren't overheating too much because I think he did short shift on his run through the first chicane, and now he's just got the famous Parabolica left, with Hadjar ahead of him. Let's see what Isaac Hadjar can do as well. He's currently up in 3rd position, but his sector times have been yellow and yellow. The soft tyres are only sort of really good for one run, and especially when track temperatures are up in 43 degrees Celsius. Yeah. When the track temperatures are up in 43 degrees Celsius, overheating is quite prevalent. Verstappen improves up into 2nd position. Very nice. Okay, I'm going to have a quick sip of water, otherwise my throat is really going to start to hurt. Yeah. What does 67 mean? I don't know. I don't know why people are typing 67 in the chat, to be honest. Anyway, that has been everyone. I think everyone apart from the Ferrari drivers have done their runs. Is Hamilton and Leclerc? Hamilton and Leclerc are finally making their way out of the pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. These are the final drivers to do their quick laps. So let's see now. Hamilton and Leclerc, they will have a lot of traffic in their way. You can see pretty much everyone is out on the circuit now. So that's not going to be in their favour, but they are going to have the most optimal track conditions to set their flying laps in. So Verstappen, with his best possible lap, was 2nd place, split the two McLarens. Nico Hülkenberg, purple in the first sector. Really nice first sector from him. And yeah, very, very good job. 6-7 as in Bortoletto and Hülkenberg in 6 and 7. Actually, yeah, that's a pretty big surprise, isn't it? No, I don't know how I missed that one, but it looks like they're going to continue on improving as well. Here comes Hülkenberg then. I don't know if Hülkenberg made a mistake. It looks like he did, but now he's giving Bortoletto a tow as they come down towards Parabolica. So looking pretty nice for those drivers. And Charles Leclerc and Hamilton now on their out laps. They're warming up their tyres as best as they possibly can. Piastri's also on a push lap. So is Lando Norris. Norris, however, didn't manage to improve. He goes 2/10 slower on his previous lap. And we have got Sainz across the line into ninth position. Not Sainz, not too shabby whatsoever. And this is on a fresh set of soft tyres. So both Williams now 8th and ninth position. And surprising that the Saubers are ahead of them. Normally, the Williams are really good in these sort of high-speed circuits. But here in Monza, the Saubers are doing brilliantly, which is a bit of an odd one. And we shall continue on. We have got Colapinto improving up into 17th place. We're not really expecting much from the Alpines because they're down on horsepower. Alonso improves up into 9th place. And then we have got Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton on flying laps. Antonelli as well up into 10th, but still a couple tenths off his teammate George Russell. When is qualifying? Qualifying is in 2 hours and 36 minutes, folks. 2 hours and 36 minutes. So yeah, that's when quali is. All right. Here we go then. The Ferrari drivers are on their flying laps through the first sector. There you go. They are very, very quick through the first sector. And Hamilton goes ever so slightly quicker than Leclerc. And I think that might just be due to the fact that Leclerc is ahead of Hamilton. So Hamilton's getting a toe off him, even though it might be the most marginal toe that you've ever seen. Hamilton goes ever so slightly quicker in the second sector as well by a few milliseconds. But yeah, here comes now Leclerc towards Parabolica, and here comes Hamilton as well. Where are the Ferraris going to place, folks? What do you think? Put your predictions in the chat. Is it going to be up in the top 5? Is it going to be up in the top 10? Currently, they reside in 12th and 13th position. Here comes Charles Leclerc from 13th up into only 8th position. Hamilton, with a bit of an assistance of a toe here and there, manages to put himself up into 6th, demotes his teammates down into 9th. But yeah, really suboptimal, to be honest. Very, very suboptimal indeed. I would have expected the Ferraris to be up there in first and second. Well, I wouldn't have expected them to be up there. I would have hoped for them to be up there because it is their home race after all, and it'd be good to see Ferraris scoring some solid points at their home Grand Prix. Okay, yeah, but 5 minutes remain on the clock, folks. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We got 8,600 people tuning into live stream. Big pleasure for everyone tuning in. Big pleasure to commentate to you guys, actually. That's what I meant to say. And hope you are all enjoying the coverage. Ferrari, you cooked it. Ferrari may just be cooked. We'll see how it goes for qualifying. Maybe Ferrari are sandbagging now. Maybe Ferrari are like, oh, we're gonna play everyone, and we're gonna turn the engine modes down now. But once we get to Q3, we're gonna turn the engine mode up to max. So who knows? Charles Leclerc's been told over the radio about where to improve and Hamilton's also being coached over the radio. So they're doing the slow laps now. They've been told you can brake ever so slightly later into turn number 1 for Charles Leclerc. Hamilton saying that he can go have a slightly different entry into turn number 7. That will gain him a little bit more lap time. So the drivers are being coached over the radio, and to be honest, the gaps really aren't that big. Hamilton, the top 7 are split by 0.3 of a second, so really close in the top. And if you look from 2nd position to 7th position, that's only 1/10 of a gap from Piastri to Hadjar. So extremely tight. The finest of margins can make a difference, and who knows? Okay. What does the red bar in the microsectors mean? The red bar is the data glitching out for whatever reason, folks. So yeah, once we'll get that resolved, but the data is glitching out ever so slightly, and that is the it should just be a normal mini sector, but for whatever reason it's showing red. Red normally means the driver has stopped at the side of the circuit because of a crash or whatever, but sometimes it's just showing up for the drivers that have driven into the pit lane. Okay. Okay. Thanks everyone for hitting the like button as well. We've got 1,200 likes. It's not showing up on the screen, of course. In fact, I could probably get it to update. But there we go. 1,200 likes so it really is appreciated to everyone for hitting the like button and subscribing. I once again do apologize for the lag issues that some of you are experiencing. Be sure to just rewind, 10 or 15 seconds. That should resolve most things. Yeah, my internet has been very, very dodgy in the last couple of days. It's very strange because literally no one else is home. I'm the only person that's home, only person using the internet. And it's the best possible connection that I can get in the local area, and still it's lagging about. So very strange, very odd, and I sincerely apologise, folks. All right, we have got the Ferraris making their way out onto the circuit. Is that Ferraris making front wing adjustments? Interesting. Okay, maybe they will have some front wing adjustments. We'll see. We'll see what the Ferraris can do. But they're 6th and 10th as of right now, after Albon improved up into 8th position. Yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, 1 minute and 10 seconds remain on the clock. And folks, any of you that are watching the stream and will be planning to tune in for quali, for the next 2 hours, I will be doing my absolute best to resolve all of these Wi-Fi issues. I'll be doing a full restart, full reset, and everything, every single trick in the book that I can think of to get this Wi-Fi working as expected. So do apologise for any issues, and I hope to get everything sorted out by the time qualifying rolls around. We've got Colapinto up into 14th position. Nice job there from him. And let's see what the Ferrari drivers can do now. Charles Leclerc starting a flying lap. And in fact, look, he started off with a few purple mini sectors. He's getting a nice little toe as well off one of the Hasses, I think it is. Is that Ocon or Behrman? One of the two. But regardless, yeah, it's Ocon that Leclerc gets a little bit of a toe as he heads in towards turn number 1. Might have misjudged his braking point, actually, because of that extra toe, that extra top speed. And yeah, that's the other thing around here in Monza. You getting a toe is very beneficial down the straights, but then you do have to brake early. You have to sort of make that judgment call perfectly about braking ever so slightly too early, ever so slightly too to see what's going to happen. All right, we've got Charles Leclerc now finishing out their lap. So all of these drivers, we've got quite a few drivers actually ending out this FP3 session with some hot laps. So let's see what happens. Charles Leclerc now making his way through Ascari. What's Verstappen doing? Verstappen's also on a quick lap here. So let's see what Verstappen can do. Directly plug into my router. That's what I'm currently am. I'm literally directly plugged into my router. So yeah. Anyway, Verstappen across the line, currently in 3rd position, and he's 2 milliseconds off Oscar Piastri. 2 milliseconds, so close. But the top 3 are within a 10th and a half of each other. Charles Leclerc across the line, it's 2nd position. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Ferrari are back. They're so back. It's totally over for all of the other teams. Charles Leclerc's in 2nd position. Game over, folks. It's a Ferrari 1-2. Nothing else is even going to happen, to be honest. Why even have the race? Let's see what Hamilton can do, though. Hamilton now just coming out of Parabolica. Hasn't had the cleanest of laps, and yeah, unfortunately doesn't improve on that flying lap. Alright then, I think that is all, folks. That is all. Anyone that was doing a quick lap has now come into the pits, or has finished their quick lap. So that is all from me. It's been a pleasure commentating to you guys. Thank you all for coming along and listening along to the live stream, even though there may have been some lag issues here and there. And I will look to get all of these issues sorted in time for qualifying itself. So I'm going to end the stream. I'll take you over to the qualifying stream. I've got a little trailer actually set up for you guys, some memes as well to enjoy. And yeah, be sure to hit the like button on that, the reminder button as well. And I'll be getting underway in 2 hours time or so for the qualifying stream. And hopefully the Wi-Fi issues are also resolved by that point. So yeah, Lewis did get traffic on that lap, so there will have been maybe a 10th or two of improvement still available there, but we shall wait and see what happens. But Charles Leclerc is in 2nd position, so